The U.S. Supreme Court, one of three branches of the U.S. federal government. Well, one of the justices, David Souter, has indicated he probably will be resigning. So now there's been lots of speculation. Who should President Obama appoint? If you were president, what kind of person would you appoint to the U.S. Supreme Court, and would it really make a difference? A lot of people say, well, if you've got a good lawyer, because that's what judges are, lawyers, if you've got a good lawyer who is sharp, who understands the law, who is honest, ethical, that's all you need. And that person should always decide the cases based on the law. Well, that's what we'd like to think. But in reality, personal philosophy makes a difference. How does it make a difference? Because the law touches on every single aspect of human activity. Somebody who grew up maybe on the wrong side of the tracks or elsewhere might have a tendency to always want to favor the little guy. That person may say, I'm going to look at the law, I'm going to apply it correctly, but I'm always going to apply it in such a way that the little guy gets a break. Someone else may say, I'm just going to apply it just the way the letter of the law reads, and doing that, I don't care who's on either side. That person tends to be a little more conservative. So if you're going to appoint someone who has a personal philosophy like yours as president, how do you find that person? Well, you can do a couple of things. You can appoint somebody who is already a judge, either a trial judge or they're serving as an appellate judge on one of the circuits in the federal judiciary. When you appoint that person, you can look at it and say, gee whiz, I can see the decisions this person has made in the past. That indicates to me how that person will be deciding similar cases. Good track record, longer the person has served, the better you got the track record. But what about people who haven't been serving in that position? And a lot of times, law school professors will be appointed to judgeships, including the U.S. Supreme Court. When they're appointed a justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, you look at them and you say, okay, what's their philosophy like? How do we decide that? Well, you can look at what they've written, the various positions they've taken, whether they've supported certain organizations. And when you do that, you say, I've got a pretty fair feel as to who this person is. But when they get appointed, just like anybody appointed as a federal judge, they're appointed for life. They're appointed for life. That means as long as they live. That means they get to decide what they want to decide within the parameters of the law for as long as they want to decide. Makes a big difference. Makes a real big difference because sometimes a person's philosophy starts to change as they age. Sometimes someone who has been in law school has taken a particular position on a number of things and then will suddenly change their mind, and sometimes an individual who has served as a judge for a while says, you know, I just think I've been making some mistakes here and I really need to support some other approaches. So, you want to appoint someone with a philosophy like yours. You look at their track record, you look at the stance that they take. What's the likelihood that that person will be continuing to support that personal philosophy? Well, we don't know. And maybe they will, and maybe they won't. So there's never a guarantee, and that's the nature of appointing someone to the U.S. Supreme Court. Hey, I'm David Allen. We come to you every week giving you some insight on the law so you understand how the law works, so you can make the law work for you.